This is Valentine's Supposedly Table. My name is Mr. Hyperlot, and welcome to day 10 of Autismas. Can't believe we're almost done with the series already. We literally have, after this video, 2 more videos. We're already 2 days till Christmas, and I can't be more excited than I already am. I don't think, if I am more excited, I'd probably explode. So yeah, for today's video, moving on. For today's video, we're going to basically do another movie review, but it's a movie I've been wanting to talk about for pretty much since last Autismas. For those who didn't watch Autismas last year, you'll probably know that I did like 3 different Gremlins reviews, as well as but they were game reviews. And also show you guys my Gremlins collection. Yeah, 3rd of Autismas last year was a Gremlins related. Oh well. So yeah. But there's one thing I kind of left off about Autismas last year. I forgot to review the movie. And I've been wanting to do this for like months now, but I thought, I'm not doing that near Autismas. Excuse me. Gotta pop before I did this, sorry. So yeah, today's movie review is going to be about my favorite alternative Christmas movie of all time, Gremlins. Now, even though I love Gremlins so much, like there's a few things that don't make sense about the film. I think they kind of established it in the sequel, which we'll get to eventually. Like, obviously, if you've seen the movie, there are 3 rules you have to follow to owning this little guy. His name is Gizmo, and he's a Mogwai. Now, Mogwai, 3 rules to owning one are very strict and kind of vague, not gonna lie. Like, rule number 1, keep it out of bright lights. So in this environment, it's too much. They would hate it. Like the studio lights and all that, yeah. But keep it out of sunlight, especially, because it'll kill it. Yeah. Sunlight will basically, sometimes make a melt, sometimes it'll just be skin, will just be a skeleton, yeah. It's kind of different every time, but basically, in the first film, they'll melt into a goop. Kind of gross. I don't know. Rule number 2, you can't get them wet. Now, in the film, they basically mean, I think they mean they'll get them wet with water, but the one thing I don't understand is they can chug bottles upon bottles of alcohol at a tavern, and they don't multiply. So they can't get in water, and you can't get them wet in water. Like, but isn't alcohol like a liquid, which is kind of which is water based? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out rule number 3, which is no matter how much it begs, no matter how much it pleads, never feed them after midnight. Now, rule number 3 is kind of the vaguest clue, but also the most important clue. Like, for starters, midnight until when? From midnight to when? Like, when would it be? What are the vague hours of like not feeding it? Like, sure, you can't feed it after midnight, but can you feed it at like 6 a.m. or sunrise? For me, I believe it's like sunrise or something. Like, I don't know. I guess when the sun rises, you are allowed to feed it again, but I don't know. And if you cross a different time zone, or you get something stuck in your teeth, or who knows. So yeah, the rules of owning a Mogwai are pretty confusing, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. Also, but there are a few plus sides to the movie, like, also, actually, before we get to the plus sides, there is another flaw. this movie was stretching out to being a rated R film. I'm not kidding. They rated this film. It should have been rated R, but they rated it as a PG film. I'm not kidding. So basically, this film was stretching out towards being a rated R for adults only film. I mean, seriously, parents took their kids to see this movie in the theaters because they thought it was kid friendly. It's anything but. Not gonna lie. And it's kind of terrifying. Kids went to the cinema theater with their parents watching this film, and kids were scared reckless, and kids were scared crackless, and parents were complaining. And this isn't the only Steven Spielberg film. Yes, it was presented by him. This wasn't the only film that issued a rated R to film. It was another Indiana Jones film. I think Temple of Doom also stretched out. It also meant it was a rated R film. It was also meant to be a rated R film, but Spielberg, he basically thought of the idea of putting something in between PG and rated R. PG-13 is now a movie. Now we have PG-13. Excuse me. Now, as we know nowadays, movie ratings are pretty much garbage. Like, seriously. I mean, if it has like nudity and other graphic content and blood and gore, sure, rated R. But movies that should have a higher rating get PG-13. Seriously. Like movies like. I guess the only issue that they have between PG-13 and rated R is like people doing the smoochy for too long, if you know what I mean. But still. Anyway, I'm getting off track. So basically, Gremlins, it was in Temple of Doom. But let's stick to Gremlins. Stick to Gremlins. So yeah, Gremlins, it should have been a rated R film in my opinion. Seriously, I mean, I love the film, but yeah, kids back in the 80s were scared to the point of having nightmares, and parents were complaining. I'm pretty sure they sued Warner Brothers. I'm pretty sure some of them sued Warner Brothers, but I don't know, I'm just guessing. Other issues I have with Gremlins, let me think. Rules don't make sense. The ESRB, no. The movie is rated PG instead of R. Yeah, those are the only really two complaints I have about the film. But there are some good things, like my favorite scene out of the whole film. Well, there's this old bat named Mrs. Deagle, and well, basically she gets what she deserves for being sleazy, not sleazy, a cranky old lady who may even make grown men quiver in fear. I don't know why the beginning scene where she is introduced. Good morning, Mrs. Deagle. What's so good about it? Oh. Literally a scene in the movie, if you guys haven't seen it. Well, the Gremlins decide to pay Mrs. Deagle a visit, and they basically kill her. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. They pretty much kill her. Now, they don't just kill her with a knife or a gun or anything like that. They start off by singing Christmas carols to her, where she almost throws ice water at them, freeze them or something. But thankfully she realizes they aren't ordinary Christmas carolers. And somehow one of them sneaks into her house So she locks her door, and they tamper with her her chairlift that goes around her spiral staircase. And they make it go so she basically is like, I'm not ready. She goes on her chair, goes upstairs to hide. They tamper it, but that one gremlin tampered with the chair so much that she goes so fast up the staircase. Well, the chair comes loose with her on it, and okay, this is her bedroom. This is her window. not good with animation. I'm not good with special effects. I'm not good at. They basically launched her at the second story window. I'm bad with explanations. Without words. I'm sorry. Non-verbal explanations. I'm not good with. Sorry. So yeah. So they basically make her chair go so fast up the stairs it unhinges from the mechanism and just launches her out the second story window. I like to call that thing the Deagle has landed. I guess for those who understand movie quotes, you understand that joke. Sorry, I'm a little nasally today. I don't know why. So yeah. There's also a scene where the police officers, the gremlins, like, cut the brakes off their police car, and they basically, well, I would say they crashed into an insurance building, but that's another truck. But literally, like, a police car crashing into an insurance building, like, a car has a car accident, gets crashed into an insurance building. That's good irony. Hey, at least you can save car. At least you can get car insurance. Oh wait, I crashed into an insurance building. I can't. But anyway, yeah. There's a lot of, even though the Gremlins movie has a little bit of flaws, like the rules and the rating system, I still love this movie. But there's also another flaw I just remembered. And for those who haven't seen the movie, I'm about to spoil the ending. Sorry, but if you don't know about the ending, I'll hopefully put hopefully put like a time here. So I'll probably put time like right here on this side of the screen. Hopefully I remember. If you haven't seen the ending or the film in general, skip to this time. I'm about to spoil the ending. Pause the video. Skip to this time. You've been warned. So the ending. The ending of this film, I really hate it. I mean, sure, like, it starts off nice, like, the gremlins are gone, and Gizmo, who had just defeated Stripe by exposing Stripe to sunlight, is feeling better, but then all of a sudden, Mrs. Peltzer, the mom, turns around to get him some hot soup, get everyone some hot soup, and the shop owner from China. She basically turns around and sees the shopkeeper where Mr. Peltzer, Randall Peltzer, the dad, basically sold Gizmo, but I wouldn't say sold because he actually stole him, thanks to his grandson. But anyway, basically, the shopkeeper, who we now know in the second film, his name is Mr. Wing. He basically took Gizmo back, saying that Billy and them aren't ready. And when I heard that, when I first saw that growing up, and like when I first saw the film, I was like, "You've got to be kidding me! He's taking him back." I wasn't sad. I was just genuinely pissed. So yeah, Mr. Wing basically took back Gizmo, and yeah, but then the most emotional scene happened. I still get choked up at saying this. I'm almost 21 years old. First saw it when I was in 8th grade, but I think it was like 14 or something. And I still get choked up after seeing the scene. Gizmo asked Mr. Wing if he could ask something to Billy in Mogwai language. Billy's the main character, by the way. And when Mr. Wing opens the box that Gizmo came in, Gizmo actually says, "Bye, Billy." I would do an impression, but my throat kind of hurts. I would do my best Gizmo impression, but my throat hurts. "Bye, Billy." Just thinking about that gets me all emotional. I mean, that's the last. I mean, but at least Mr. Wing said, one day you'll be ready. But until then, Mogwai will be waiting. And then the movie just ends with Mr. Wayne and Gizmo walking down the street, heading back to Chinatown, I guess. And then with Randall Peltzer saying, so if your microwave just goes on the fritz or your TV blows up, check all your doors and windows and turn on all the lights. Because you never can tell. There just might be a gremlin in your house. And then credits. Seriously, like, even though the ending isn't the most like my least favorite, even though the movie has some flaws, the movie is still great. Like, I mean, sure, the rules make no sense, and that ending gets people all emotional, and the ratings and the rating system is by the company who, but like, it's supposed to be higher, like rated R. But aside from that, Gremlins is a great film. I highly recommend watching it if you're old enough. If you're a little kid, I would recommend watching it with an adult or waiting till you're a bit older. Because honestly, I can see why people can have nightmares from it. Like, my little sister and my cousin, well, older sister, sorry, confusing myself. Well, she is little now compared to my size, but anyway, my older sister and our cousin tried watching it one day. They couldn't get past the kitchen scene. The first time I watched it, I was like, I didn't bat an eyelash. I just thought it was cool. I grew up fine. Anyway, so my final review for Gremlins, I give it the seal of approval. Despite the flaws, seal of approval. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video of me just rambling on and just gushing a little bit about Gremlins. If you did, drop a like you're dropping the bass. Wow, wow. And give the old subscribe button the Autismas smack. And I'll see you in the next video. Dude.